Did we go twice there?
Okay, I just looked up and Chris is wearing 2 pairs of sunglasses now. Okay, this is how the episode is going to go today. Welcome back into Talk Off, everybody. It is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. And we are hitting those lull days in the MLB, but we are still out here pumping out episodes 2 times a week, Tuesday, Friday, every week.
I got to take these sunglasses off. I don't know how you did it that one episode.
It's not that bad. If I had them on me, I would wear them too.
It's just interesting wearing them inside.
I think
it's not really my thing.
Sack up. Don't be a baby. Sunglasses.
Maybe I want to be a baby sometimes. What's it to you?
For everyone out there who is listening, Chris has been pissing me off for the last 4 days. So
this is true. I've been like a little
really
fruit
fun
fly.
Episode.
I've been a fruit fly in Zach's ear for the last 3 days. So this will be fun. So we had some good football games yesterday. Some 3 great football games, actually.
Great whole weekend of football. Great playoffs so far. Really excited. There was no game that really was shit. It was all pretty good. I mean, the Chargers, I don't even know what to say. That's the saddest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. My heart goes out to every Charger fan that there is, especially the ones that live in San Diego. They don't deserve this.
So that was a 27-point comeback.
27, which is just...
Oof.
That's...
that was a game I turned off, and I kept checking back periodically, and I was like, "Oh, the Jags are coming back."
I also turned it off. There was no point in watching. The Chargers had the game, and to blow a game like that is just absolutely brutal to the franchise. They need to fire their coach so badly.
So now, for the rest of the playoffs, whenever the Jags are down, I'm just gonna continually just keep on saying it's too much time for Trevor Lawrence.
I think they have a chance against the Chiefs. I don't know why, but I do.
Really?
High on the Jags right now. Go
I don't
Jags.
blame you.
We're
Go
jagging
Jags.
off.
I'm
Go
down to
Jags.
become Jags. I'm down to become a Jags fan for the rest of this playoffs.
Let's do it.
This is a Jags podcast now.
I'm in on the Jags. I'm throwing a heavy wager on the Jaguars next week. Heavy.
Duval.
That's right. Let's go to Duval. Let's do it. Except it's going to be a fucking Arrowhead number.
I think we're officially saying now we're exclusively a Jacksonville Jaguar podcast now.
Exclusively.
So we
I
all
hate
have to
every other team.
Let's all get custom Jags jerseys.
Jags
That's the next
tattoos.
I'm
Let's
down.
go.
I'm down. I just want to get Duval written on my I was thinking my forehead, and then I was like, that guy. I was watching a clip from We're the Millers today where the guy had no regrets, and I kind of want that in that same spot. Just Duval.
That's a nice one. I think
Yeah.
I might just get a portrait of Trevor Lawrence on my back. That hair is unmatched.
It'll totally look good too. I support that.
Do you think he's going to be 40 years old and still have that hair?
I don't know.
I was thinking about that the
it's
other day.
kind of his thing now. It's kind of like
Yeah.
how, well,
But imagine a 40-year-old Trevor Lawrence just running out there.
you know
still
what I kind
playing
of,
at 40,
you know what I
and
kind of
still has
associate it
that
with.
hair.
I kind of associate it with how Noah Syndergaard is like Thor, and that's kind of his identity in baseball. So he could never really cut that hair fully, and I feel like that's kind of the same school of thought with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I get it, but I just mean it old people with really long hair looks really weird.
It does, but then it's remember Shawn Michaels and Triple H in the WWE? They looked so
true.
cool
They
with
looked
long
cool.
hair.
But I think they're just cool guys.
Trevor Lawrence is a cool guy.
That's true. Went to Waffle House after the win.
He did go to Waffle House. I've only been to one
Beast.
Waffle House in my life.
Never been. Really want to go.
It
Just for
lived
the
up to like all
memories.
those expectations too. It was like the best food. I enjoyed it. I was like, this is the best breakfast spot I've been to. That's like a chain. Because
That
IHOP
actually
is
makes me
overrated.
upset that I've never been to one then.
Would you
IHOP is
agree that
terrible.
IHOP is overrated?
I think it's horrible. I think chain breakfast places are just bad, though.
Local breakfast places are like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
That's where you get it. The good
that's
stuff.
where you get the big breakfast meals that make you want to just sit back in a chair all day and do nothing.
That's true.
So definitely some good NFL games on this weekend. Unfortunate that Chargers fans had to witness and go through that, but there's always next year.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they're the Chargers, so it'll probably happen again next year.
Yeah, true. The Niners march all over the Seahawks 41-23. That doesn't really come as a shock to anybody.
Nope. That was the only. That's the second half of that game was the only boring part of the weekend, pretty much.
Bills with a win 34-31, excuse me, over the Dolphins. I was shocked about that game because I actually was pretty confident in the Bills covering that 13.5 point spread, but looking back on it, it's a lot of points and probably should have thought that one through before betting that one.
I feel like a lot of people were on the Bills spread, but I think people weren't remembering the whole divisional factor. They've played each
This
other
is true.
twice. They play each other all the time. They know each other. The game was going to be close. No division game in the playoffs is going to be a blowout.
Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, 31-24 over the Minnesota Vikings. And this was a game that, Zach, we were talking about this yesterday. I was on the Giants the entire day, and I think you were as well, but you were definitely nervous about how everyone was all on board with the G-Men yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I had been wanting to bet the Giants. Like, I wanted everyone to be on the Giants. I wanted the Giants to win. I thought they were going to win until I saw that everyone was on the Giants. And then I got just a little scared. When everyone's on an underdog like that, like, you get scared. You're like, well, like if everyone's on it, then Vegas probably knows something and it's going to lose. So you always get scared off with the public bet, but G-Men pulled it out. Daniel Jones looks like a beast. They better extend him. He's the truth. Dable has unlocked full Daniel Jones potential.
I agree. I think he's the future of that team.
Him and Saquon for the next who knows how many years.
And then the Bengals last night, a 24-17 win over the Lamar Jackson-less Ravens last night. And this didn't
That was
really
crazy.
this didn't come as a surprise to me, but the Ravens definitely were knocking on the door late in this game.
It's another one. It's another just divisional game. Like was gonna be close. That's a rivalry game. They know each other so well. The Ravens defense is the best part of their team, so that game was gonna be close. I didn't think the Ravens were gonna almost win. I mean, that if that strip sack doesn't happen on the 1 yard line,
That was crazy. 98
if
yard fumble.
that doesn't
recovery.
happen, the Ravens score and they could very well win that game.
Yeah, Sam Hubbard with the scoop and score for the Bengals. That's honestly what probably turned the tide in that game for the Bengals. Because I thought that after when they were marching down in the red zone, I was like, okay, maybe Baltimore wins this game and survives and advances to another week. But boy, did Cincinnati flip the script quick on that one.
It was crazy.
I just almost did I say squipped?
No, you said script. You're okay. Don't worry.
Squipped. And then obviously tonight we got the big game, Dallas and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and I will say it again, as I said to Jake before the podcast, who decides that he now wants to put a large wager on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Jake, can we get a comment
Tom
on this?
Brady in the playoffs. Tom Brady in the playoffs, Jake. What are you doing?
Tom Brady at home.
What
in
are
the
you
playoffs.
doing?
And Jake wants to
When we
bet
listen,
on the.
when we when we listen back to this podcast, one of us is going to sound really dumb, but the Cowboys are just a better team. Like, yeah, I get it, Tom Brady and all, but betting on Tom Brady this whole season hasn't got you very far. You're barely against the spread. You're probably below 50%. So,
But it's Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott. You're banking on
He's
him
not the
throwing
center
two
of that.
picks. He's going to throw 2 picks at least.
I don't know. I mean, that defense, Micah Parsons just had a baby.
That's true. He hit good for at least 3 sacks today.
There you go. I might win them the game.
Do we want to do a live pick for this game so we can come back and see who was right and who was wrong?
Yeah. Does anybody know what the spread is?
3. Dallas by 3.
Dallas by 3.
Yeah.
Okay, give me Tampa plus 3.
I'm going to take the over in this game, 45.5. But that's not my. Obviously, I'll go Tampa plus. Actually, you know what? It moved to 2.5. So you're taking Tampa 2.5.
Taking it still. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa 2.5 as well. And I'm taking
Cowboys.
the over. Wow.
I like the over.
I like the over too, but it's Tampa all day. They win by a field goal.
So we'll have to come back and see who's wearing the dunce hat on their heads.
I think it's gonna be Jake.
Can we do a
bet something?
punishment? Yeah, can we bet something?
I already have a lot of money on the line.
We don't have to bet money. We can bet something podcast. Loser has to write a poem and read it on the next podcast.
Yes.
All
A
right.
poem about the winner.
The winning team. Or the winning
Yes.
team or the winner?
The winning team. No, the winner.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
So Jake, are
Deal.
you taking Cowboys straight or are you taking them 2.5?
I mean, I like them straight. I don't really love the spread, but they're going to win the game.
Take him straight then.
All right, so Zach, let's just take
Then I'll just take him straight. Take it straight away.
okay.
All right, straight up.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
I'm not betting.
They're winning.
I'm not betting against Tom Brady in a playoff game. I'm sorry.
And I'm not betting on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys in a playoff game. It's just not happening. He has the same amount of playoff wins as their franchise.
Oh, Jake.
America's team. It's America's player.
I hope I get humbled. Humble.
I probably will because I'm talking too much, but
We'll have to see.
still.
We have a poem on the line.
It's going to be a good poem, too. It's got to be a good one.
What do they call the like the poem reading sessions where everyone snaps for applauses?
I think it's just poetry reading.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know what else you would call it.
Yeah, I don't know what else you would call it either. So Zach, moving into the meat
Chris,
of our show here, baseball. Not a lot
Let's
going
move into
on.
the meat. Let's move
Not a-
into the meat.
Not a lot going on in this world. We had a few free agency moves. Andrew McCutchen back to the Pirates on a 1-year, $1 million deal. That's just objectively so cool.
That makes me happy. That's happy for all baseball fans. If you're a baseball fan, you are ecstatic that you saw
Right.
that contract.
Right. It's almost like as baseball fans, we found our equilibrium. Now we're back to 2013. The vibes are high. Kutch is back on the Pirates.
The vibes are so high. This is a guy, won MVP on the Pirates back in 2013. He was a beast for the Pirates. Then he shaved his dreads and he happened to not be a beast anymore. But he was an MVP for the Pirates. It's great to see him back in the Pirates. He was awesome as a Pittsburgh Pirate. And this is a guy who isn't gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's not. He's just short of that because his good span was very small in the MLB. But he'll retire a Pirate. He'll hit his 2000th hit. He's about 50 hits away, I think, away from 2,000. He'll hit that as a Pirate. He should hit 300 home runs as a Pirate. So it's great to see him. He's going to retire as a Pirate, and it's fun for baseball.
Trey Mancini goes over to the north side of Chicago. 2-year deal with the Cubs. That's fun. Cubs are again becoming a better team. It seems like every week.
They make another move, and they've been making moves this whole offseason. Getting a guy like Trey Mancini, a veteran, in that lineup is going to be good, and I think he's probably going to do a lot of DHing for them. But I feel like they have so many first basemen now. They have Trey Mancini, who might play a little first. They said he's going to play a little first and DH. They also signed Eric Hosmer. I don't know why, because
it seems like a lot of these moves are just for. I'm sure at the end of the day, Chicago has a plan to utilize these players all across the infield and have a lot of DH versatility. But dude, this team looks sneaky competitive right now.
They're going to struggle in the pitching department. That's their problem right now. Is their ace right now is pretty much Jameson Taillon, which is not okay. Marcus Stroman is probably going to give them another year, and that's where they're going to struggle. The lineup is solid. They have a solid lineup. Their outfield is Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, and Cody Bellinger right now. And then
there's a lot of upside in that outfield.
Yeah, and then up the middle they have Swanson and Nico Horn. And then Patrick Wisdom, I think, plays third base. And then at first is either going to be Hosmer, Mancini, or Matt Mervis is one of their better prospects, the first base prospect, who's supposed to come up this year and be very good. He was the pretty much home run king of AAA last year. He mashed in AAA, and he was supposed to come up for the Cubs this year. With Mancini and Hosmer there, what does this mean for Matt Mervis? I don't think he should be starting the year in AAA. This guy mashed in AAA last year. He needs to be starting in the MLB this year.
Yeah. Well, I wonder,
hopefully,
did baseball take away the language in certain contracts where there's a certain call-up date where a player gets an extra year of arbitration eligibility?
No,
I don't think they took it away. Right, in the new, no, it's still there?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that was a big topic of conversation at the CBA when that was up last year.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know that a lot of players were, and rightfully so, they were pretty pissed at teams for holding players down in the minors till late April or early May just to get that extra year of arbitration eligibility. So I wonder if I'm assuming, and I'm pretty sure that was squared away and taken care of, and that's no longer an issue. But on the off chance that I'm wrong and it is still an issue, I wonder if this is a move by the Cubs maybe to send him back down and save an extra year on that contract. I could be completely wrong here too.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. If it's still a thing, which I honestly just don't remember if it is, then that's most likely what they're going to try to do, because it's what everybody tries to do, and it's the smart thing business-wise to do. Yeah, you kind of look like an asshole for doing it, but you really should, because it makes perfect sense. You get an extra year of that guy. But we'll see what happens with the Cubs. They get Trey Mancini here, veteran guy. Let's hope he does well. I mean, 2 years ago when this guy came back from cancer, he had 95 RBIs for the Orioles and hit 30 home runs out of nowhere. Right back off of cancer. This guy's incredible story. I hope the best for Trey Mancini. I love him, and I kind of love the Cubs this year. I don't know why.
Yeah, Trey Mancini's a fun guy to watch play, and a really awesome story. So we hope the best for him in the Chicago Cubs, who we've always talked about in a very positive light on this podcast, Zach. We think that they have a lot of upside, that team.
I think they do.
Last thing I want to bring to your attention before we move on to some Fangraphs statistics that we came across today. Pablo Guerrero signed with the Rangers in the international free agency signing period. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yep.
So the Rangers are confirmed going to go crazy in 5 years, right?
Absolutely. Their farm system is crazy right now. especially with all the young pitching that they have. With your favorite guy in the entire world, Jack Leiter.
Yeah,
Kumar
I'm a big
Rocker,
fan of him.
Young pitchers coming up that are going to come up in 3 to 5 years. It's just fun. The Rangers are going to be fun, and they've done so much to help their franchise so far. Hopefully, they keep spending.
I can already see the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. free agency rumors swirling around when he hits the market and the connections that he'll have to Texas.
He'll have as soon as he becomes a free agent, everyone's gonna assume he's gonna go try to play with his brother.
So talking about Vladdy Guerrero Jr., he is ranked 12th according to Fangraphs this year, exclusively off WAR. Now, Zach, you brought this article to my attention earlier today, and I think it's a great benchmark to kind of evaluate players moving into the 2023 season.
Yeah. WAR has really become the statistic for figuring out who is better than who in the past couple of years in the MLB. And for people who don't know what WAR is, it stands for wins above replacement, which basically means this is how many wins you bring to the team, how many wins better you are than the guy below you. So they have found with all the millions of analytics that are in the MLB today, they have found that WAR is the best way to rank players.
Yeah, it's essentially a benchmark to place other players against, like Zach said, against a replacement. And this does take into consideration the ballpark and the league you play in. So there's different variables all over the place that play into the calculation of this specific number.
Exactly. And so I was looking at the list. Fangraphs comes out with the list, projection every single year, obviously. And this year I was looking at the projection, and number one overall, they project the number one WAR next year to be 7.1 by Juan Soto. And this I wanted to get your opinion on, Chris, because Juan Soto, we saw last year, the guy struggled. He struggled when he went to San Diego. He was hitting like 230, and this is a guy who hits 300 for his career so far, pretty much. So I want to ask you, how do you think Fangraphs gets from what he did last year to a 7.1 WAR player and the league leader in WAR next year? What does he do that's so different that's it's not going to fall off next year?
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of things to take into consideration. I think historical data is a huge component of this. We know what Juan Soto is capable of. He's obviously an MVP caliber player, an all-star, capable of winning a batting title and a Silver Slugger along the way, and maybe even as his defense progresses, a Gold Glove. But he definitely struggled in his 52 games he played in San Diego. I'm looking at the statistics here. 236 batting average, with 6 home runs and 16 RBIs definitely doesn't jump off the page like the 21 home runs and 46 RBIs he had in Washington over 100 games this year. There's a lot of factors that we could break down and get really analytical into this, but I think really it was a change of scenery and getting adapted to a new team. He's 23 years old. It was probably not an easy move to move across the country and play with a team and teammates that you're not used to seeing every day like he was in Washington. I don't think it's an outrageous thing to say he's going to pick back up where he left from his MVP caliber year in 2022. I think we'll absolutely see the Juan Soto of the past this year, and I think there's going to be nothing stopping him in San Diego. I think he's going to be the face of their franchise, and I think he will be basically the new Tatis in that town.
I mean, I agree with you. What Juan Soto does, which so many players should want to do and so many players can't do, is he walks at a great percentage and he strikes out at a low percentage. And there's so many players in the MLB that just can't do that. Being able to walk 20% of the time that you are up to bat is huge. his on-base percentage is consistently in the 400s because he walks so often. He finds ways to get on base, and he's a guy that pitchers don't want to pitch to. In Washington, I think he struggled a little bit because there was no reason for pitchers to pitch to him, so he walked a lot more. He was just taking walks. His on-base percentage stayed good even when his average dipped off because he was walking so much in that Nationals lineup. I think moving to the Padres lineup with so much meat in their lineup around him, he's really going to be able to bring it back to how he was when he was chasing for MVP a couple years ago when the Nationals won the World Series. So I do think he's going to come back, and having really great players surrounded him in that lineup is really going to benefit him. So I expect him to be pretty. That's a pretty accurate WAR projection, I think, for next year. Another one I wanted to bring up to you is number 11 on this list. The number 11 ranked WAR next year, Adley Rutschman, the catcher for the Baltimore Orioles. Now, this is a second-year player who has already been projected to be top 12 in WAR next year. This is shocking to me. I think Adley Rutschman is a great player, but I think that's pretty high. I do think that he gets a huge bump because of his defensive abilities at catcher, and catcher already gets a bump in WAR because of how hard the position is to play. But I think it's crazy to see Adley Rutschman as the projected 11th WAR in the entire MLB next year, because last year he played very well. Don't get me wrong, he played very well. But as a catcher, he's not going to hit as much as a lot of these players are.
No, and also don't forget, though, that coming up, he was a huge, really his value as a prospect outside of the defensive capability was his ability to hit the ball for not only contact but for power. Even in college, he was Pac-12 Player of the Year. So, and I want to say I don't have the exact statistics on me. I can pull those up, but I mean, he was a stud in college, offensively and defensively. So, and like we were going back earlier and saying that a lot of the calculations to this metric holds into consideration the position they're playing, and I think we don't see, besides JT Realmuto and trying to think of other catchers in the past 5-6 years who have been able to handle the bat on a consistent basis. I mean, there really hasn't been that many great offensive catchers who are really a two-way player. Besides Realmuto, maybe Will Smith comes to mind.
Yeah. It's very rare. It's very rare to have a catcher with the hitting and catching tools. A lot of the catchers we see today are either crazy power hitters, good contact hitters, or they are very good defensively.
Yeah. So Fangraphs is projecting Adley to have 19 home runs over 66 RBIs for next year, which I think is a very fair assessment. I think 130 games is a little high.
I agree. For a catcher, 130 is a little high, but I mean, he is so young, so
he's older than Soto,
fresh,
which is crazy. Isn't that unreal?
I love those things are hilarious when you look at people's ages.
It's crazy.
Like Madison Bumgarner is younger than Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, it's unreal.
He's only 32. You know he went to the World Series at 20 years old?
Bumgarner?
Yeah. One day, I don't know where I saw it.
I'm sorry, were you saying Bumgarner or Soto went to the World Series at 20? Because I think they both did.
Bumgarner.
Okay.
Bumgarner.
I think Soto was 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's 23 now. Wouldn't make sense, 2019. Someone I also want to bring up in this conversation here, Fernando Tatis Jr. We spoke a little bit about him, about how I think Soto's really going to be. He'll come over this year, and there'll be a whole kind of changing of the guards from Tatis to Soto in regards to the face of their franchise. It's really interesting to see that 5.5 WAR for Tatis projected, and we're talking about a guy who presumably he'll be moving to the outfield now. Is that the general consensus of what's going to happen?
I think the general consensus is that he's going to play right field.
So essentially, that 5.5 WAR is built into pretty much all offensive stats, because I don't really have any confidence in saying that this guy can go out there and be a plus defender for you.
I didn't have any confidence saying that when he was playing shortstop, to be completely honest. He's just not a plus defender in any way. He's not one in the outfield, in the infield. It doesn't matter. He's not a plus defender. I am a huge Tatis hater. I don't like him. I just don't. I think he's so annoying, and his glove is just, it's so bad. He's so bad defensively, and I think people just, he's one of those guys. He's one of those guys for me that the MLB just shoves him down your throat so much when he's doing good that it just pisses me off, and I get so angry, so I start hating him. Like, there was a period in like Ohtani's rookie season where I was like, I hate this guy. It's because he was just getting posted so much on social media. So that's, I think, why I hate Tatis, but I still hate him. And I think he's just such a bad defender and nobody looks at it. Obviously, the hit tool is there, but I don't know. I think the guy just causes too many problems.
Who do you think on this list is underrated here? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you on that, on your thought there.
No, I was literally just going to say that he's an asshole. That's pretty much it.
Who when looking at this list, who do you think is underrated? Because underrated or overrated, I should start with, because I see one here immediately that's jumping off the screen for me, and it's Jose Altuve, a 4.6 WAR. I think that's a little overrated because he's already going into the back end of his prime, and we've seen what happens when Altuve isn't himself.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Altuve is solid. If I was going to look to someone to say maybe overrated, unfortunately, I don't think he's overrated. I just think the projection is wrong. Mike Trout, he's projected up to play 152 games. There's just no way that's happening. That's not happening. He can't play 150 games with his back. It's just no way. So I don't think he's going to end up top 10 in WAR this year just because of games played. But I don't know how they can.
He has not played more than 140 games since 2018.
Yeah,
2016 he played the most games in his career, which was 159.
Exactly, and he was a lot younger then, and his back wasn't as bad as it is right now. He literally has a rare disease that he has to play with now. I don't think he should be top 10 on this list. I think underrated, I would say, is number 6 on this list, Kyle Tucker. Nobody, I feel like, talks about Kyle Tucker in enough.
Nobody talks about him.
They should, because he was kind of the shadow behind such good, dominant players for the Astros, like Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman. Kyle Tucker is that team. That team will only go as far as Kyle Tucker would take them. He is one of the best hitters in baseball. He is one of the best left-handed hitters in baseball. He is just so good, and he means so much to that Houston team. And I think he's gonna be so good again this year. Every single year, he's up there in WAR. He's up there in WRC plus. He's gonna be very good again next year, and I think people need to start respecting him as one of the best players in our league.
Yeah, he's only a one-time All-Star, which is crazy, and I think he could be, certainly with 1 or 2 more years like he's been having, I think we can talk about him in an MVP caliber candidate
easily.
So that'll be interesting to see. I think someone who's completely underrated on this list. Well, I was going to say Xander, but the reason why I said it was because he was right above who I'm going to say is underrated on this list. Rafael Devers. a 4.5 WAR, projected at 26th on this list for hitters. I think that's criminally underrated for a guy of his talent and what he's done in the past.
I think they're really looking at what he did on the back half of the year last year. He started out so hot. He was top 3 in every offensive ranking at the beginning of the season. Even when we were playing so bad, he was still playing phenomenally. The back half of the season, he really started to struggle. You really saw the rookie Rafael Devers come back where he's chasing high strikes and he's swinging out of his shoes and he looked hurt. I think that's probably what they're looking at, is they're looking at the struggles from last year. He does chase a lot of pitches. He strikes out a little too much than he probably should. And he's also not really that much of a plus defender. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised why he would be ranked so low. But
right. Well, I mean, offensively, the numbers weren't as great as they have been in years past. So hopefully we'll see an uptick in those come this season.
100%. We will see one. I believe in him. Got the bag, he's going to ball out.
For the pitchers, Jacob deGrom he tops this list, which doesn't really come as a surprise to many. If he's healthy, he's the best pitcher on the planet.
It's another one with me, Chris. I'm surprised.
You're surprised?
I'm surprised.
Tell me why you're surprised.
It's pretty much the same argument I have with Mike Trout. This guy doesn't stay healthy. He doesn't stay healthy. How can he lead the league in WAR if he doesn't stay healthy? I don't think that they must not think about injuries when they do these projections, but I can guarantee you that he will not have the highest WAR among pitchers next year.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me at all. So deGrom is followed by Burns, Rodon, Cole, Ohtani, Scherzer, Nola, McClanahan, Verlander, and Alcantara to round out the top 10 for pitchers. What's really interesting to me is McClanahan is getting the respect he finally deserves. It looks like he's finally climbing up people's power rankings for pitchers, which honestly took a while because last year you could make an argument was his breakout year, but we saw flashes of this coming for a long time now.
Yeah, he had flashes back in, I think it was maybe 2019, where he was also very good then too. He battled with a couple injuries, came back last year and really came into his own. And there was arguments for him to win the Cy Young, and he started off very hot, and he was the best pitcher in baseball for a couple months there. He slowed down a little bit on the back half of the season, but that's normal wear and tear. You understand that. Chris, someone on this list who I'm actually surprised a little bit about is Max Scherzer. I'm a little surprised that he's at 6. This is a guy who's been one of the best pitchers in baseball for the past couple of years. He's on a dominant team that is the Mets. I don't see why Max Scherzer couldn't be where Corbin Burns is at number 2.
I think the immediate answer to that is probably taking into consideration his age. He will be going into his age 38 season. So that's probably going to be where that lower end WAR comes from. I don't really know. I'm a bit worried about Max. As pitchers obviously get older, you do have to consider a lot more leeway for injuries, because obviously it'll be impossible to stay as healthy as you were when you were in your prime. So I don't necessarily disagree with this number, but I do agree with you that if Scherzer is on and is fully healthy, he could be as good as any guy in the league, even deGrom at that rate.
Yeah, that's something that we know, and we've known that for years. He has dominated this league for so many years, him and Verlander, and I'm so excited to see them on the same team. That's crazy that they're back on the same team again. There's a couple other guys on this pitcher's list that I think surprised me. I think Framber Valdez being 13, I think he's probably going to be a lot higher. This is just a guy with a low ERA. He doesn't give up a lot of home runs. they keep the ball in the park in Houston, those pitchers. So I think Framber is really going to step up this year without Justin Verlander there. That I honestly think is going to be one of my Cy Young picks for this year. Is going to be Framber Valdez. I think he's just going to step up for the Astros this year.
I have an early Cy Young pitch for you. Excuse me. Kevin Gausman. I think he's finally going to figure out pitching in Toronto, and that's a hitter's park. So I think if he pitches to his strengths in that ballpark, he'll lower that ERA fast, like he had it in 2021 with the Giants when he did win Cy Young. Pitched to a 2.8 ERA.
Yeah, I mean that's a guy who last year was supposed to be the ace for Toronto, and he was the ace for Toronto. He pitched well. That's another guy who keeps the ball in the park, and he pitched really well last year on the back half of that year. It did take some time to get used to Toronto, but he pitched well in that park. He keeps the ball in the ballpark, and that's what you got to do with the teams with power like they have in the AL East. So I think Kevin Gausman is going to be very good next year as well.
And somebody who I think could be a little overrated, and this will come as a shock to a lot, but it feels a little weird every year putting Ohtani at the top of the pitchers list. He's fifth right now for WAR for pitchers, but it just seems a little weird to put a guy that high who's so versatile. We have seen him struggle on the mound. It seems like hitting has never been an issue for him, but pitching is definitely come at a little bit more of the cost of growing pains for him at the major league level. I don't think there's any question about his talent at the plate. I think it's just like, remember the 2020 season? That was rough. That was rough for Ohtani. Those two starts that he had, 37 ERA. Looked like seven earned over 2 innings pitched.
All right, we're talking about 2 starts, though. This is a generational player. What are we talking about here?
I'm not talking about. I'm saying it just feels weird putting him at the top 5 of every single year. And I'm not saying he's not a good pitcher at all. I'm just saying it feels weird to have a guy of this much talent be a top 5.
He was up there last year too. If you look at the end of last year,
and it's always seemed interesting because I feel like
he's insane.
He is insane.
He had a 9.5 WAR last year,
and a lot of that came from hitting and pitching combined. Obviously,
he had a 3.8 batting and a 5.6 pitching WAR. That 5.6 pitching WAR is higher than any projection on the Fangraphs this year.
So, do you think he's a better hitter or a better pitcher? Because I think he's a better hitter.
I still think he's a better hitter, but I'm just telling you what it was.
No, and I totally, I'm not disagreeing with you. My argument is it feels weird placing him in the top 5, where it seems that at some point in his career, there's got to be a lull in either the hitting or the pitching game. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I mean, I know he's great and he's he is a generational talent, and it's been amazing to see him pitch to a 3 ERA and still hit 40 home runs. But it seems, it feels weird looking at this, just being like, he's going to be a top 5 player in both categories every year.
It's weird to look at, but it's weird. Just true. I have come to realize that it's just how it's going to work from now on. He's just going to be a top 5 pitcher and a top 5 hitter every single year.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's the best player in the game. It's just crazy to be like, this dude is probably going to have, he could end up having the highest WAR out of anyone's career. Obviously, you'd have to take into account how many years he ends up playing. But this dude could theoretically rack in 9 WAR every year.
I know. It's insane.
It's crazy, man. Hunter Green, 23. Sorry, excuse me. 3.2 WAR for Hunter Green. That was something that shocked me.
What, you think that's low or you think it's high?
It's the Reds are just such a bad team. It just seems like it's going to be impossible to have good numbers as a pitcher there.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I was thinking the same thing about Nick Lodolo, who's also up there for Cincinnati. They're just such a bad team, but these are great pitchers. I mean, Hunter Green is one of my favorite pitchers just because of Have you ever watched him pitch?
Yeah, it's electric.
Hunter Green.
He throws gas.
The ball, even though he throws 100, like what seems to be the normal in the major leagues right now, even though he's throwing the same as a quarter of the pitchers out there, it looks like it's just coming out so much harder from his hand. I don't know why. I think it's just his motion. It's crazy, and it looks like he's throwing BBs out there, and I love it. He's one of my favorite young pitchers.
So it'll be interesting to see how the Reds hold up this year with him on the bump. He had a 4.4 ERA last year. I'm hoping defensively the Reds get better for his sake. Because it's honestly a shame when a lot of these pitchers don't have good defenses behind them, and then to back that up, they don't have good run support, which is honestly probably why one of the reasons DeGrom left us.
Yeah. It is. You saw it with DeGrom for years, losing games 1-0 because he made one mistake and the Mets couldn't get a run. It's sad when pitchers just go out there and you see a lot of guys. It happens pretty often. You throw seven innings, 1 earned run, loss, 1-0 loss. I mean, it's just how. It's a testament to how good the pitching is in the major leagues right now. I feel like the pitching is phenomenal. The hitting is also phenomenal, but it's so hard to hit a baseball in general.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a testament to how good the pitching is.
Absolutely agree. I think the pitching is a lot better than the hitting has been in recent years. Just to round out this little discussion we have here about the top projected WAR leaders in the major leagues for both hitting and pitching. I'm looking at the 30th ranked pitcher right now in terms of WARs. They have Darvish at a 2.9, and I'm just a little shocked at that because Darvish has been such a consistent player throughout his career, hovering around a 4 or a 5 WAR. I'm wondering what makes them believe at his age 36 season what's going to make him decline almost nearly half of his value.
I honestly don't know. You said it's a 2.9?
Projected 2.9.
That's actually a little shocking, especially with how good San Diego is going to be. I mean, you see their other two pitchers, Snell and Musgrove, back-to-back at 24 and 25, projected to both have like a 3.1 WAR next year. Those are low for those pitchers, and you know, I am a little worried about San Diego and their pitching department because we've seen Snell struggle. We've seen Darvish struggle, but he's still been, even when he does struggle, it's still just that consistent, 3.8 ERA kind of guy. But I think there is some volatility there. There's some injury concerns. The only one I'm really very confident in is Musgrove, and even he's had problems recently. So that's something that I think we should keep an eye on, is that San Diego Padres starting rotation.
Yeah, it's interesting. The top 3 arms in that rotation, Musgrove, Snell, and Darvish, are all ranked in the bottom third of the top 30 projected WARs. So, and that's not to say that together as one unit they won't be a good rotation. It's just interesting to see that, obviously, in terms of forecasting analytics, it appears that there almost will be a downswing in their careers, numbers-wise, next year. So that'll be interesting to follow as a storyline going into this 2023 season. So should we get into our newest segment, Zach?
Let's do it.
So do we have an official name for this segment yet?
I don't think we have an official name. Right now, we're going to call it Bracket. Because
Bracket
that's
with
as
a
creative as
with a capital B.
capital B, yes.
Capital B, yeah. So what
we're gonna do? Yeah, you want to explain it? It's your idea. This is your baby.
Okay, so I've taken the top 8 snacks according to my Google search. So these are hard hitting data that we have here. Most of this research has been done over Google, so take the top 8 number with a grain of salt. But we've ranked on a bracket the top 8 chips. It's just chips, right? This is just chips. We have just chips. Okay. And I can go through those right now. So the 1 seed, who we have playing off that, should I go through the whole list, or do you want to go through matchup by matchup?
Let's just go matchup by matchup.
Okay. Should we start at the bottom, the 6th seed and the 3 seed?
We can start at the bottom.
All right. So we have Cheddar Ruffles against Flaming Hot Cheetos.
It's a tough one.
This is a tough one.
That's
I
tough.
have never really been a Cheetos fan, and I'll tell you why immediately. I was never a fan of getting, and this is a big factor of this, I didn't like the leftover like crumbs and dust on your hand.
Well, yeah, you get that with like anything though, any chip.
Yeah, but it's Cheetos really stands out.
I'm going with Cheetos. I'm going with Flaming Hot Cheetos.
I might have to go cheddar. Oh,
Ooh, then I'm going to be
the deciding vote.
I'm gonna go
I
with
don't know.
Cheddar Ruffles here because I think
Both
just
you.
objectively they're better than Cheetos.
All right, Jake. Then yes, you are the deciding vote.
shoot. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be like a talk. There's no Takis on this list, and yeah, I think Flaming Hot Cheetos got to go on.
All right. So we have Flaming Hot Cheetos moving on. Now we have the number 2 seed Cape Cod chips going up against number 7 Cool Ranch Doritos.
Is there even do we even need to have a discussion? It's Cape Cod.
I think it
10
has
times out of 10.
I don't think it's 10 times out of 10, but I think it's at least 8 or 9 times out of 10. I still like Cool Ranch Doritos. I think they're still good chips. They're not better than Cape Cod chips.
No, yeah, it's Cape Cod. It's Cape Cod.
And for reference, I'm talking about the original Cape Cod here.
Oh yeah, just normal ones. Just
Okay,
normal Cape Cod.
fair enough.
You can't beat them.
Those are good.
This is a sleeper for me here. Lime Tostitos up against do we say French onion Lay's or sour cream and onion? I think we'll do sour cream and onion.
Sour cream and onion.
And I think
I'm going.
I think
This
lime.
This
I think it's
could not
lime
be
all
easier for
day.
me. This could not be easier for me at all. It's sour cream and onion all day.
Oh,
if you
I'm
like
going,
lime chips,
no,
I
no,
actually
no.
hate you. Like if
No.
you like lime chips, I actually hate you. You don't know taste.
Lime Tostitos, dude.
They're no.
No,
They're called
dude.
hint of lime Tostitos, and it's not a hint. They take a bucket of lime juice and they pour
Good.
it.
I'd rather.
on
I'd
the toast.
put
It's
more
too
on
much
there. I want
lime.
all
It's
of
too
it.
much lime. I'm not eating a lime. I'm eating chips.
Yeah, they taste great.
No, they taste like shit. They're bad.
You would rather sour cream and onion over lime Tostitos?
Any day of the week. I would rather
I feel
eat, I
bad
don't
for your
even
taste
know.
buds. I'm sorry.
I'd rather
I
eat
apologize
a
for your
head
taste buds.
of lettuce than a head of just dry lettuce, nothing else, than eat fucking lime Tostitos. I should just go eat a lime then.
You don't like to have fun, do you?
No, I love fun. I hate lime Tostitos.
You obviously don't, because lime
I hate
Tostitos, literally, they're fun. Like, look at, like, You
How
ever
are
seen
they
a guy?
more fun than
Have you
any
ever
other
seen
chip?
somebody sitting
what
down?
Are we talking about lime Tostitos are. Do they have a personality? It's
Yeah,
chip,
they do.
Chris.
They
It's
do.
chip.
They do have a personality.
No.
You know why?
No, they
Because
don't.
if I see
Nope.
someone eating lime Tostitos, I immediately have a conversation started with them. I'm going to say, you know what? You're cool because you like a really good chip, and you're not a freak
Oh,
who would rather
shut
have
up.
sour cream
Shut
and
up.
onion chips over
No,
lime Tostitos.
You're a freak. You're an idiot.
Jake is the deciding vote, so
This is fucking hard, boys.
I
I literally was eating lime Tostito chips with like hot salsa today. It was so.
Oh,
wrong
no.
with you people?
the recency bias. Recency
But-
bias. This could be bad.
But French onion Lay's, like you can't. I can't eat a sandwich without French onion or sour cream and onion Lay's. So
Got to make a
I'm
decision.
going French onion and sour cream.
Oh.
Yes, Jake.
I have to.
Yes.
I have to.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
Fuck
guys.
all the lime
It's so
Tostitos
close.
lovers.
It's so close.
All right, we have the
Let's
number
go.
1 seed nacho cheese Doritos going against the 8 seed barbecue Lay's. I think this is an easy matchup, right? We're just going to say nacho cheese Doritos is
It's Doritos. 100%.
it's Doritos.
Move it on. Yep.
Move along.
All right, the 2 seed Cape Cod in the we are now in the semifinals here. The 2 seed Cape Cod chips going up against the 3 seed Flaming Hot Cheetos. Are we going to push Cape Cod to the finals here?
They have my vote.
I think they have mine too.
I'm in love with Cape Cod chips. They have my vote.
Yeah.
Okay. Unanimous decision, Cape
Cape Cod.
Cod in the finals. The 1 seed nacho cheese Doritos going up against the 5 seed sour cream and onion Lay's.
This is a tough one.
So I would rather lime Tostitos over the sour cream and onion Lay's, but I would much rather the sour cream and onion Lay's over the nacho cheese Doritos.
Interesting.
I agree. I think I'm going sour cream.
I am going sour cream and onion.
Okay.
Zach, what was your vote?
2 out
Is
of
it
3.
not-
That's fine.
But was it nacho cheese?
I don't know.
Well, guess what? It's
I don't
nacho
know.
cheese
I
because
don't
it's
know.
sitting
I
on the
think it's-
bench now. French onion goes to or sour cream and onion goes into
Do you think people
championship.
who listen to this think you're funny?
no, honestly no, but I like making fun of you.
Okay.
So
I'm just making sure. Okay.
the number 5 seed sour cream and onion Lay's up against the 2 seed Cape Cod chip in the championship
For the first champion.
for the Talk
For the
Off
first
Pod.
champion in podcast history.
This is should we send first of all, should we send either Lay's or Cape Cod chips a trophy? Because we have
can.
decided Jake just sneezed really hard. Jake just like I think Jake hit his head on his desk. He just like the recoil on that sneeze was crazy.
Bro, I'm allergic to something.
Oh no. Jake's going. I'm sorry. I'm just. We're good. Okay.
He's
so, French onion Lay's, the 5 seed up against the
Sour
2 seed.
cream and onion.
What do I keep saying? Do I keep saying French onion?
Yes.
What did I just say?
You said French onion.
Well, it's because I have French, and then the word gets cut off after that because I didn't pay for the
All right.
the
I'm just
premium
saying.
version
I'm
of
just
this app.
saying I'm just trying to get it right for the people.
Okay, I'm just gonna go on the record now. It's sour cream and onion Lay's.
All right. Good thing that was on the record.
Okay, against Cape Cod. Jake is loving this. Up against Cape Cod. This isn't an easy decision for me here because I'm a big
This is
fan
the
of
battle
sour.
of all battles.
If I'm walking into a gas station, and you see one of these 2 bags, I'm probably leaning towards getting sour cream and onion.
Me too, kind of.
But I
Jake,
know
what do you think?
it's weird because I know like Cape Cod is probably a superior chip.
It's sour cream and onion for me.
I think it's sour cream and
You could
onion.
eat it plain.
But Cape
You could eat
Cod
it on a
is so
sandwich.
Cape Cod is so consistent.
You know exactly what
Like,
you're getting.
It's such a great chip.
It's versatile too because it's like the original flavor.
It doesn't
You can go
even
with
it doesn't
any
even
sandwich.
it doesn't even need seasoning. That's how good
There's
of
not
a
enough
chip
salt.
it is.
I
Not enough
love
salt.
I need more salt.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
put
Cape
my.
Cod.
See this now. I'm thinking
Deciding
that
vote does, yeah.
now I'm
going
not-
Cape Cod. I can't. I love them too much.
I'm the deciding vote here.
Yep.
Oh no. Okay. Here's how I'm going to decide this. If I walk into a gas station and I see sour cream and onion or Cape Cod, I'm going with sour cream and onion over Cape Cod.
So sour cream and onion wins.
Sour cream and onion is our first official talk-off bracket winner of the top chip.
You know, as long as Hint of Lime didn't win, I was okay. So
I can't
That's
believe
fine.
you don't like that chip as much as everybody else does.
I can't believe you do.
How could you not?
Onion almost got eliminated first round too.
That's true.
Wow.
The winner almost got eliminated first round.
So the 5 seed, sour cream and onion, moves into the winners column.
What a champ. So should
All
we get into some picks?
I would love to get into some picks.
Let's do it.
Powered by Riverside.
All right, we got picks. Picks for Tuesday, January 17th. I will start us off today. I got back on the winning column this week. Marist College Red Foxes. What a win. 5-point underdogs win the game outright by like 17. I love it. I absolutely love it. I am now 4-4. 4-4. So here we go. We're going to go 5-4 right now. Kansas Jayhawks tomorrow night, number 2 seed against their rival Kansas State, the number 13 seed. Kansas is minus 2.5. The Jayhawks are going to win the battle for the state of Kansas. I have a lot of faith in the Jayhawks. Kansas, they may even be my March Madness pick, early pick. I love the Jayhawks tomorrow night, so I'm going with them.
I am going back to Big East hoops. I'm taking
Surprise.
Okay. I am taking the Creighton Blue Jays over the Butler Bulldogs. The game is in Indianapolis, and I'm still going with Creighton. They are 6-point favorites. I think the only reason this discrepancy is at 6 is because they're on the road. I think if they were at home, this margin would be a lot higher. I think this is going to be an easy win for Creighton, who looks like they're finally figuring out their footing in a tough Big East conference. I'm going with the Blue Jays minus 6.
I'm going to again stick with hockey. We hit Oilers crush 7-1 for my last pick. So I'm 4-3 now, or 3-4 now. Sorry, excuse me. We're gonna go. I forgot my pick. Hold on, let me go into the ESPN. Yeah, we're going with the Detroit Red Wings against the Arizona Coyotes. Coyotes have let me down a few times in a row now. Now it's fuck the Yotes.
Fuck the Yotes.
No, come
This
on.
one's good.
Give the Yotes a break.
I thought
You're
we were
playing
gonna
a
be-
college
I thought we were
arena.
going to be a Yotes podcast.
I thought we were a Yotes podcast. I thought we were a
Just-
Jags podcast. We're definitely okay. We're definitely a Jags podcast. We need a baseball team.
We are
now.
a Jags podcast.
We need a baseball. We'll decide that closer. We'll
decide
in
that when
spring
it gets
training.
closer.
Yeah,
we might be a Pirates podcast
or a Cubs podcast.
or a Cubs podcast. No, it can't be in any of our divisions.
Yeah, it can't be in any of our
NL East or
divisions.
AL East.
So we're definitely a Jags podcast. Like we're
definitely Jags.
We're big Jags fans from now on.
Yeah, we're jagging off.
And then are we Coyotes? Are we Coyotes fans?
No,
we
he just said
Coyotes?
fuck the Yotes. Fuck the Yotes. Fuck the Yotes.
Okay. Can we be
just for tomorrow night. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can we be a Ducks podcast? Because I like the movie where they're like quack, 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 quack.
The Mighty Ducks?
Yeah, can we be Ducks fans?
Yeah, sure. We could be Ducks fans.
Okay. Should we get into the roulette spin?
Let's do it. We're going to hit it.
Okay, so today's number is 19. I don't think we've
Here it
had
comes.
19 before. I've got $3 on 19, and we are spinning. We are spinning. Oh, we are spinning.
You're not feeling it?
Well, we got 27. Should we do an extra spin today?
I think we should do an extra spin.
I think we should do an extra spin because why not?
Let's do an extra spin.
Wait, but that means we have to do another random number. Someone random number right now.
I got it.
On the spot. Wait, Jake, what were you going to say?
Pick a number 0 through 37.
I don't feel it today for some.
That's bad juju. He probably felt it
Okay.
in his ACL today. It's like when people know it's going to rain, he knows we're not going to.
The number was 3.
Okay, I feel like we don't have low numbers usually. So,
We're going to hit it. Second try. We only do
Okay.
2 spins just today because for Martin Luther King.
we are spinning. And the number is. Oh my gosh. It was 24, which is the number right next to 3 on the dial.
Oh my god.
You gotta be hyped with that.
Oh.
Guys,
Guys, and I know we don't have this. We need to figure out a way where we can all watch it at the same time, but it hit 3. It looked like it was going to stay there, and it jumped right over onto 24.
it's like so depressing.
We
Like,
were
really depressing.
one spot away, one box away.
Maybe one day we'll get it.
Maybe Friday.
Maybe Friday. There's always Friday.
There's always Friday.
Wake me up when September ends on a Friday.
It's been over for a few months, so wake up.
Oh, okay. You guys know that
All right,
song?
everybody. Well, that is our show for today. Come back and join us on Friday, where we'll discuss the loser of our Cowboys and Buccaneers bet, and we'll hopefully see if anything
We'll
else
have a nice
happens in the
poem.
baseball world.
Zach will have a nice poem for you.
Jake will have prepared a very nice poem after Tom Brady kicks the shit out of dumbass Dak Prescott. Also, if you are out there listening to my voice right now, go out there on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram and YouTube. Follow the Talk Off Pod on all social media platforms. Please go out and interact with us on social media. We would love it. We're trying to grow this, and we want to do it for you guys. We're going to keep putting out episodes, keep putting out stuff on social media. So give us a follow and keep coming back for more good fun.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.